Welcome to Khyber
These
Shards,
children are going to kill us in their sleep.
Actual play show set in the Eberron campaign world. RA, you over there in the red. What happened last time?
It's me. Well, that's a good question. What did happen last time? Last time we found out there were eggs. Lots more eggs of the monstrosities, and we managed to keep one. So we're gonna have a pet in our dungeon. It seems appropriate. Yeah. So one of those egg things is being incubated by, or one of the things in the eggs is being incubated by the egg things. We burned the rest. Let's see what else. We discovered Pog has a minor fortune hanging out in his bathroom. We're gonna have to figure out exactly how much that is soon. But yeah, the shards, the dragon shards are just hanging out in a sack in the bathroom. What else? Ari tested his mind control abilities on Esri to no effect. So
Right.
Seems like that's
impervious.
Yeah, that needs some work. What am I? I'm definitely missing a thing. What am I missing?
We met Arlo.
You met Arlo Fletcher.
And
oh yes,
rioters.
I'm kind of working backwards. And sorry, what was that?
The people picketing.
Right. So yeah, back to the beginning. Yeah, we met Professor Fletcher, who Esri was real skeptical about until they learned why he was dismissed from his previous position because he had a Technicolor aberrant dragon mark manifestation. And then we started things with a bunch of lowlifes with no jobs protesting outside our place of business and
we started things?
Our home. What?
The episode started with.
We started things?
No. The episode started with these protesters.
I was like, you're the one that kicked a rock at him.
Yeah, well, I mean, I just kicked a rock over the edge.
Yeah, it's like dropping a penny off the Empire State Building. You're not responsible for what happens.
Oh. Are not going on that walking tour of New York together.
I mean, it won't kill somebody.
I know. All right. So,
not sure what the terminal velocity of a rock is, though.
Well, and you're
more than a penny.
You're not high up. You're not high enough up to reach terminal velocity, I don't think.
Okay.
In any case, so no, it's not actually like throwing a penny off of the Empire State Building. Anyway,
it's like throwing a rock at some jerks.
Yeah, pretty much. It's later that day. Ari and Shade are returning from a
3 scratch marks just down Ari's face. Just
very unproductive conversation with an ocelot.
I thought he seemed receptive that time.
He got really specific and personal.
You just keep climbing his tree.
Well,
you can pick any
I want
other
him
tree.
to be my friend, and clearly it's not working.
That's you don't do it by getting closer.
Yeah.
A lot.
Yeah. He seems to like you though.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
I gave him space.
That's fair. Yep. Note.
Ocelots are beautiful.
It's true.
Just looking them up. Man.
I was followed by one in Costa Rica briefly. So you return to the house about the same time that Thora and Pog and Esri have returned from the basement and stashed the empty canisters.
Excuse me. Oh, they stashed the empty canisters.
Hey guys.
Okay.
Oh, that's about it. Yeah.
Okay.
And Thora walks back in looking.
Hey, Thora.
Did anyone else return from the job with any other souvenirs that they would like to declare at this point?
I have no idea what we're talking about, so I'm going to say no.
All right.
I already told you about my dragon shards.
Yes. Just checking that now is the time to tell me if we brought any other things that might be tracked or might kill any of our students back to the building.
Forge seems cool, so I don't think so.
Excellent.
Will dragon
weren't the
shards
dragon
kill
shards,
the
right?
students?
Not on their own. No.
Oh, didn't know.
Right. Additionally, Professor Fletcher.
There are more dragon shards.
Wait, I'm sorry, what?
Huh?
She said other things.
There are what?
But that's just more of the same thing. Yeah, I have more dragon shards.
That's good to be informed. Very good. If we could just be careful, those shards almost certainly came out of the Tharashk refinery here in Cross. So let's just be careful who sees them.
Noted.
Professor Fletcher has accepted a position here.
Great.
Please be nice.
Of course.
Yeah.
Right. I'm going to go to my office and do some work.
Okay.
If we wanted to discuss some money,
What for?
Pick out.
with- for supply for ingredients.
For making what?
Oh, I have various ideas, but essence of ether is the first that came to mind for reasons.
For what reasons?
Well, we had discussed it, Ari and I, previously, and I hadn't had a chance to actually try to make some. But it seems like, in looking into it, that it would be pretty useful if we are to... it would be useful for not killing people.
I see. How much money do you think you need?
Well, I need to go source, so I'm not exactly sure, but figuring in failures, about 1,000 gold? I mean, it would be for a lot of uses. It'd keep us stocked for a while.
Perhaps when I've located someone we can sell those dragon shards onto, we'll need to determine how many of them we're keeping for Forge to do crafting with, and how many of them we're selling. But possibly we can arrange that amount when we're able to turn some of the dragon shards into coin.
Makes sense.
Right.
Killing people sounds cheaper.
You're not wrong. And she walks out of the room.
What happened? Ari says to Esri and Pog.
Go. I'll show you.
No, we stopped anything from happening, actually.
I'll lead them out to
Did not.
the workshop and show them the specimen.
That looks also dead and worse.
Yeah, check out its fangs.
What?
And he's
Or
like,
better.
How did...
pulling back.
Oh, ghost.
Where are the others?
Oh, they're gone.
Look, and I'm going to pull
Well,
out
most.
pull out one of the canisters that I have the teeth in and go, yeah, that's what they look like.
What did you all do?
Yeah.
Well,
Did you kill
Thor
all
made
of
us
them?
get rid of all of them except one.
Wait,
And
hold on.
We've got it.
Back up. All of them.
What?
Multiples. What?
Mhm.
When? How?
11.
Why?
I'll just look at Pog.
But we took them to save them.
Well, Pog was trying to save them under his bed. And it looks like they're going to actually hatch, or I don't even know what the right word would be.
'Cause we could
Exit.
just keep them in the little canisters and then they would just stay there.
No, that does not. No, I looked,
what we
and
thought.
that's not what was happening. But we were able to keep one to see it alive, and we'll see how that goes. But it's secured. In the meantime, I have this one to study.
All of them?
And the development is incredible. Look at the armor, and just starts just going into it. Everything he's noticed so far.
There's a. I didn't know there was a green. Oh my word! What's that? As Professor Fletcher
Who?
steps in.
Oi, knock.
I did. I did. I knocked, and the door was. I knocked. It's a greenhouse, so it is, after all, made of glass.
It's
He has a point.
my workspace.
How's it going?
Won't touch
Arlo?
anything. Well,
Congratulations. Thora told us that you're joining us here.
I am. Yes, it will be good to be back in the classroom. What is that?
Dead.
Dead.
Oh well, and
we don't-
thank the sovereigns. It seems.
We don't have a
Hey.
name for it yet. Just discovered. Studying it.
Ari gives, noticing her demeanor, Ari gives Shade a consoling pat on like the shoulder. Just like he can tell that she's not enjoying this.
I'm sorry. Was it one of yours? Is it a pet that's died? I'm sorry. He did not.
Not now.
Right.
It was a
Could have
baby.
been.
Shade just doesn't like it when animals die.
Oh, well, no. I see.
It's something that we found on a job, and Esri here examines things like that. So
A job.
yeah, we help out in the city, do odd jobs here and there. We haven't been a part of this school. We've been a part of this school since its inception, but we've been in the city a lot longer. So, we've done
I
things
see.
around the city and things like that. So we're residents of Stormreach.
Very good. Very good.
Ever seen the liver of a ghoul?
No, actually.
Mm.
You sound interested, though.
Oh, quite. It's fascinating.
Grab a jar filled with some liquid and part of the
looks
the organ floating in it.
shockingly normal.
Yeah, they have. I didn't have an entire one to study, but yes, it does sort of seem like they have the same basic physiology.
Well, quite fascinating. You must have had some very interesting encounters to have come into a specimen like these.
Yep. Yeah.
Mm.
That's true.
Yeah.
Well,
So
I seem to be intruding, and I'm
Oh.
self-aware enough to know that is not desirable.
We were leaving. It's okay.
yeah.
Can
We're
you teach
actually
that?
not doing
Can
anything.
I?
We're
teach
just
one?
weird with people.
Knowing when you're intruding
Oh, to some degree, yes. I've had
Eh,
long.
and knowing what to do about it.
Oh, well. You want to know how to read a person? How to see the body language and facial expression of a person and know when your presence is not welcome.
Yes.
I can teach that. I've spent quite a lot of time observing people in a classroom setting, and you get quite good at it in a classroom setting, whether or not the students are engaged with you.
Seems like that would be a useful skill. Yeah.
Quite. Yeah. In the classroom, it is extremely useful in general. Yes.
Shouldn't they just pay attention?
They should, yes. But as a teacher, you have to draw their attention.
Interesting.
Yes.
That sounds hard.
Can we see what your mark
Quite.
was?
I would rather not. It is somewhat difficult to predict exactly what will happen when I make use of it, and
It's fair.
can be dangerous.
You should practice.
Quite, yes. I'm hoping to not really be in a position to need to use it very much, being a classroom instructor here.
That's fair. Well, I mean, but we do there's
It's not.
What's not?
You should practice.
we have quite, as you know, we have large grounds around the mansion. So in outdoor spaces, there's a lot less likely to have an incident. So, it's never terrible. But anyway,
Very good.
good to have you, Arlo.
Thank you. Very nice to meet you all.
I did want to, like I mentioned when we first met, pick your brain about Thalanis and specifically how time works there. Because I've heard murmurings.
Yes.
Is there any consistency whatsoever, like in terms of people traveling there?
It seems to depend very much upon the method of travel. And he immediately produces a pipe and lights it and leans against the wall and begins smoking. It very much depends on the method of travel that one takes. Certain ways of entering into the Feywild can result in rather unpredictable time streams, but it is also possible, if one understands the essential teleology of Thalanis, to enter in a very controlled manner.
So is there a known method that would, as close as could possibly guarantee that time would travel quicker there than here, where you could accomplish a great deal in Thalanis while very little time passed here upon your return?
Oh yes, quite.
Ezri returns to the specimen and it's completely checked out of the conversation. Is just working on it.
Yes, I wrote an extensive paper about this. Yes. And
really?
Developed a number of methodologies for such sorts of interplanar travel.
Where can we get our hands on those? I guess we have the source here, but
I very much prefer that no one lay hands on me.
Well,
much more comfortable in conversation.
your papers, I was... Yeah.
Oh, I see. Yes. Well, they probably still are somewhere in the archives of the University of Winarn.
Fair enough.
But I'm well versed in the topic and can easily discuss the methodology with you. Even perform a demonstration if it would be amenable to your interests. But
Have you been?
to Thalanis, I have. Yes.
Oh,
only
really?
Only briefly, but yes. I have traveled to many other planes, carefully and with suitable accompaniment, but yes.
Interesting. Which part of Thalanis did you travel to?
Oh, well, I've been to a couple of different parts. It depends on the story layer one chooses to enter. Some are safer than others.
Fair enough.
What is it? May I inquire as to your interest?
Yeah, I suppose there's no real point in dancing around. I'm cursed by the Forgotten Prince.
Oh my.
Yes. Oh my, indeed. So basically, in a few weeks, you will recall this conversation, but my part in it will be a vague, amorphous notion, and you'll
Really?
probably attribute who you spoke to somebody else in this room.
That's fascinating.
Um, Academically, yes. In practice, it's
Have you
devastating.
had the opportunity to determine exactly the rate of memory loss?
I have not done controlled studies, but it seems that the level of attachment that I have to the person, the slower the rate of degradation.
Also
So
fascinating. Would you be
yeah.
interested in doing a controlled study?
Maybe. I would much rather just get it resolved and make the Forgotten Prince not want to have me cursed.
Hmm.
Uh,
Yes, well,
because
I should think so.
yeah, he didn't really lay out the parameters of getting it lifted when he cursed me. So,
Hmm.
yeah,
No, that's
so
that is a very unfortunate curse. I am very sorry. My curiosity in these matters does sometimes run ahead of my empathy in these matters.
It's fine. I haven't talked to anybody about it for most of my life. I've only recently started engaging in conversation, so it's just nice to talk about it. So
Very good. Yes.
But
And I want to meet the Force Queen.
yes, Shade would like to be the Force Queen.
Well, I see. That's possible.
Oh, and find the city of my nightmares / dreams.
What now?
Find the city of my nightmares or dreams.
This seems like an excellent conversation to have over drinks in more comfort.
Sounds like a good idea.
Would
Yeah, we probably shouldn't. You probably shouldn't smoke in his workshop.
I'm sorry, he's smoking?
Yeah, he
was
lit a
smoking
pipe.
a pipe.
This whole
He
time.
lit a pipe.
As soon as he began speaking academically, he lit a pipe.
Yeah.
I missed that because I wasn't, because Esri also was not paying attention.
And he was puffing away on it.
Yeah. Oi. No. They're trying to grow plants in here. What are you doing?
We should go.
He's smoking.
Why are you still here?
We should go.
I work and I believe live here now.
All of you.
Yeah, he wants us gone.
I like being outside. You know this.
Well, there's a very nice garden we could go and
Yes.
sit in, I believe.
Yeah, we can go
If
sit in the
that would
garden.
be preferable to have the conversation out of doors, I'm more than happy to.
I will be right there.
Uh-huh.
He begins walking over towards the little garden with the dragon statue.
Hog goes into the house.
Ari comes with, not to the house, with Arlo.
Arlo sits down on the on a bench underneath the dragonborn statue. So, you're interested in you have nightmares of a and wait, what do your nightmares have to do with Thalamus?
I think I am seeing a place that is located in Thalamus. It's a forest city, and I know that would be possible, probable in Thalamus.
Yes,
But it's destroyed when I see it. And also there's a sphinx that said something like find me. So
that's very, very, very interesting. And the city is in Thalamus, so you would of course need to get there. Do you know its name?
Thalamus.
The name of the city.
I don't think so. Do I know the name of the
You
city?
have learned the name of the city.
I'm so sorry.
It is
Uh-oh.
all right. Yeah, you learned the name of the city from Hallis. Shatirias Talai.
Will you spell that? I'm so sorry.
Yep. ShaeTiriastolai.
Shatirias Tolai.
Mm-hmm.
I do know the name. Turns out. Rewind 10 seconds.
Sure. That is the lost Fae Spire here in Zindric, yes?
Yes, we did learn that.
Well, getting there is more difficult because the Fae Spires exist both in Thelanis and in the material plane at the same time. In most cases, arriving at a Fae Spire is simple enough, as you can simply walk to its location on the material plane. But of course, in the case of Shatirias Talai, the location is difficult because it is in Zindric. So, you would want to make contact with a Fae of that location, and you believe that the city has some connection to the Forest Queen?
I don't know, but I really hope so. Except I hope that it isn't, because I don't want it to be destroyed.
Well, then it would be a matter of making contact with the Forest Queen or a Fae associated with her. And that Fae would then potentially be able to guide you to Shatirias Talai.
Do you think Cal would know someone?
I'm sorry.
And then we could
Cal?
contact one of... Oh,
Big cat.
That is your panther.
the Fae Panther.
Yes. I'm sorry, I did not
That's
know.
Cal.
Did not know his name. Possibly. It would be a matter of whether he would know and whether he could then locate that person, depending on how long Cal has been here in the material plane, and whether or not Cal can return easily back into Thelanis.
While this conversation is going back and forth and Ari's just sitting there listening, I'm also going to use this opportunity to reveal Ari's other new ability that he didn't know that he had. As he's sitting there just mindlessly listening and intent on the conversation, he's going back and forth. So what are, for both Shade and Arlo, just the surface level thoughts that they're thinking about as this conversation is going back and forth?
For Arlo, the surface level thoughts are a rapidly running catalog of pieces of Thelanian lore that seem to just sort of be washing across the surface of his mind. And every now and again, it seems that it's like he's sifting through all of the vast store of Thelanian lore that he's got and grabbing the pieces that he needs as the conversation goes on.
And then you know Shades too?
Yeah.
It's just the 400 questions that comes from every answer that he gives, and the self-doubting of, did I ever ask Cal if He was associated with the Forest Queen? Did he know all along? Can he go back easily? Why haven't I been a good friend to him? I have asked him very little about his life. I should find out a lot more about what's... Oh, he's so pretty.
And then Ari like jerks and like shuts his eyes and like it like once he turns his focus away, it cuts off, but he's now no longer listening to the conversation, just sitting there wondering what uh-oh. So that's anyway.
But the matter of making contact with the inappropriate fae, if your Cal here cannot guide you, not extraordinarily difficult, simply as any extraplanar travel would be potentially hazardous.
Hog walks back
In
outside.
what way?
Well, you would have to go inside a layer of Thalanis associated with the Forest Queen, and that would mean you would need to go into a story associated with the Forest Queen, which would necessarily expose you to the perils of whatever that story is.
Hey Pog,
Hey, Ari, you look weird.
thank you. Feel weird.
What did I miss?
We could travel to Thalanis if we make contact with someone associated with the Forest Queen and could guide us there.
No, you can perhaps go to Shea Tirias Talai by going into Thalanis in order to make contact with someone associated with the Forest Queen and getting their service as a guide.
I feel like that's what I just said.
Slightly different order. The going into Thalanis comes first, you see.
Oh, okay.
So we can
now
go.
I do.
So Puzzle Dust is associated with the Forgotten Prince's story. So
Indeed.
Yeah, that wouldn't be super helpful for the Forest Queen.
But you want to... So we could go to Thalanis,
Yes.
and then Puzzle Dust could take us to the Forgotten Prince story layer?
Theoretically, the Forgotten Prince is necessarily difficult to direct one to.
Opaque.
I was thinking that we would go to the Forest Queen first because she would probably help Ari find the Forgotten Prince.
That is potentially so.
That'd be great. Yeah. Hopefully. Hopefully.
This is very complicated.
Yep. So, good to know. Thank you, Arlo, for all the information.
Very much my pleasure. Happy to be of
Willing-
use.
Yes, you're
I can assist in such travel if you desire.
that'd be great.
I will have a lot more questions.
Anytime. It is my pleasure to be of assistance in any matter of knowledge.
That is very nice of you.
It is what I do.
And if we can, I think it's going to be an easier sell to go deal with this with Thora if we can give her as much assurances as possible that we won't be gone long due to the way time works
Yes.
with the lungs. Because start of the school year is coming up.
Good point.
So,
Yes. Yes, I can be fairly confident that the method I would use to send you there would be one in which you would be gone probably only a matter of, at worst, a matter of hours for each day that you spent there.
okay. That's great.
That would be great.
Yeah. I mean, provided we do make it back. But,
Quite.
If you can do what you say, you sound very helpful.
Oh, well, I can do what I say. I
We're
can do
fortunate
all
to
of the
have you.
things that I have said in this conversation. I would not pretend that I have never said I could do something which I could not do. That would be dishonest.
That's fair. So, do you know what your subjects you're going to be teaching here, Arlo?
Yes, I will be teaching some areas of basic understanding of cosmology and how the planes function, a bit of astronomy with the moons and the rings in their movements and effects on our world, as well as different theories as to the origin of this world and of the various moons and planes and of any connection between the moons and the planes.
Okay, interesting.
Yes.
Can I roll insight on him?
Sure.
I want to see if he is sincere in what he says.
Totally.
10.
It's a little hard to get a beat on this guy.
He knows a lot about the Feywild. That's all Ari knows. But
How old are the people that you are used to teaching?
Well, in on Dare at the University of Winarn, I was usually teaching older teenagers.
okay,
Up through young adults, I suppose.
so people about our age, in fact.
At the upper end, yes, I would say.
Okay.
Just judging by looking at you, of course. I don't actually know your proper ages precisely, and one cannot always tell.
That's fair.
How old are you?
I myself am roughly 350 years old.
A lot of years.
Quite.
So, I don't know, and if at any point a line gets crossed into something that you're not comfortable talking about, feel free to say so, Arlo. But Thora, we were unaware, but Thora shared with us the nature of your departure from the University of Winarn. And so, yeah. So,
Well, in that case, I suppose such pretenses are unnecessary. I am 35 years
old.
More normal years.
Well,
that is very different.
An elf very often will live for 500 or more years, Pog. But
yes, but I know you're not.
Yes, and I now know that you know that I'm not an elf.
Yeah, I didn't want,
which I did not know
feel,
in the moment.
Yeah, I didn't want you to feel like you had to keep up pretenses with us.
Right.
Lying. That's just what that's called.
Yes. Mm-hmm. Not everyone is entirely comfortable with changelings.
I mean, aberrants, so you know.
We are.
And I'm both.
Yay, you got double whammy.
Quite.
Yeah. How are you doing with that, by the way? I know that's still a fresh occurrence.
Well, in normal circumstances, it would be fairly easy to simply begin a new persona and start over. Normally, for someone of my kind, this sort of embarrassment would be very, very brief. Would simply leave, acquire a new persona, and start again. And not have to deal with the consequences of the wreckage of an illustrious centuries-long career maintained by multiple generations of my family. But since it was an illustrious career maintained by multiple generations of my family, and I burnt it to the ground in an afternoon, I am not being spoken to by any generations of my family. and was quite necessary for me to leave town. Additionally, no matter what form I take, the mark remains, and it is currently requiring an extraordinary amount of energy on my part to make it not visible.
I mean,
Why?
you're amongst friends here, Arlo. You don't. I mean,
I am
You can just
amongst-
look how you really look when you're here.
I am amongst people that I have known for a matter of hours.
That's
to be
fair.
Yeah, I don't know if we're friends.
I appreciate your candor.
We're not friends.
But we do also have marks.
Yeah.
Yes. Well, it's
Um,
not easy to conceal with clothing. So
fair enough. Well, when you feel
Mine neither.
know that.
I see. Yes.
Yeah, mine. I had to change my hairdo to keep it covered, but yeah, mine's up here. So
He sighs. You see his shoulders relax slightly, and an iridescent dragon mark appears that arcs across from one side, from his left eye across and down his right cheek.
yep, that's
So he's using his
Awesome.
shape-shifting ability to hide it. So
You don't know.
that's conspicuous.
A very
Yes.
cool mark.
Yeah, it looks. It
Nice
looks
of
great.
you to say.
Does look cool.
And I mean,
Has it grown any since you first got it?
It is
Or
not.
is it the same size as it was that first day?
It is. It has not changed since I acquired it.
well, obviously, apologies and for the way that your mark manifested, and yeah,
It-
I
Dematerializes across his face.
Thanks for showing.
yeah,
It really is cool. You can show it any time.
That's nice of you to say.
well, I mean, I'm glad that you're here, despite the circumstances, and I look forward to seeing you in action with the students.
Well, thank you very much. Yes, well, I will let you return to whatever it is. I shall go and find a drink.
But
Yes.
the conversation didn't end because you showed us your mark. It was just the end of what we had already talked about, and that's not why it's done now.
Thank you for saying so.
Good night, Arlo.
Straightens his jacket and walks in.
Good talking to you.
Outstanding. It's
You take yours and we do it like that together. It's like a handshake, but cool.
Fascinating. Is that a something out of the Shadow Marches? And he reaches out and taps his hand against yours.
So it's something out of me.
insofar as we can tell, it's a yeah.
Very good. Thank you very much.
By Arlo. As soon as Arlo's out of earshot, Ari turns to Shade and Pog. Okay, so my mark did something.
Is that why you looked so weird?
Yeah, that's why I looked weird. I was focused on listening to Shade and Arlo talk, and then at a certain point, don't know when it happened or why it happened. Shade, when you weren't talking and when you were listening to what Arlo was saying, I could hear you talking in your mind. Like I could hear what you were thinking.
Oh, goodness.
And when Arlo stopped talking and you were talking, I could hear what Arlo was thinking about and calling up to then talk to you about. Once I stopped focusing on you all,
Was he thinking good things? Because I tried to study him, but I couldn't tell if he was
he seemed to
for
just
real or not.
he knows a lot about Thelonus, and so he was going through all of his knowledge to answer your questions and best he. I didn't sense anything nefarious about it. I bet if I like focused on him more, I might have been able to like understand the intention behind his thoughts, but it like I could just hear what he was thinking. So yeah, I need to work on not doing that because that seems invasive and not cool. And I'm sorry, Shade, for doing that. I didn't mean to.
Thank you for
I
letting
normally
me
only
know.
say this for Esri, but gross.
Yeah, no, it is gross. I mean, I guess for bad people that are trying to hide something, it can be useful, but yeah, I definitely don't want to do it to you all. So, just if I accidentally do it and you like feel something weird, like I'll let you know and like just stop it. Like as soon as I realized what I was doing, I was able to stop it. So hopefully, it doesn't happen again. But just so you all know, that's what I've got going on. So
That I don't know what to say to that. Thank you for telling us. I hope you have opportunities to figure it out.
Thank you. What's Cal's intelligence score?
That's a great question.
I guess it says or. Okay, no, that's yeah.
It says 2.
2.
Yes.
Okay, but he can speak a language. Okay, darn.
He
Never
understands a language.
Okay, then never mind. So
He can only speak when Shade has used speak with animals.
Gotcha. Okay, then never mind. Yeah, I don't. And Ari looks at Cal. Is like, don't think it would work with someone like Cal. No. So
He's too majestic.
yeah, he's got wise eyes.
Hey Esri, let's do a roll for your autopsy. This can be nature or actually medicine. I don't know if you're.
That's when you know a campaign has gone wrong when those words get said.
Or gone very fun.
Your personal autopsy.
I guess
nope.
dissection
Autopsy
would be also viable. But
ooh, I'd love a dissection skill. That'd be great.
medicine.
Medicine.
Yeah.
That'll be.
I'm sure 3.5 had a dissection skill. Like, whoa,
Natural 20.
Whoa.
Total of 26.
Nice.
Wow.
Everything.
I am into this creature.
Yeah.
Literally.
You know what it would have been named.
Okay, so with a more fully formed specimen, you can tell that it would have a very high animal level of intelligence.
Okay.
But still an animal level of intelligence. You can tell from the physiology of it a few things. One is it seems to have an overdeveloped adrenal gland that would allow it presumably to put on intense bursts of speed in certain circumstances. You can definitely tell that its bite would deliver an acidic element to it,
and would be worse than its bark. So
it's true. You see no vocal cords really.
Silent killer.
Yeah. Let's see else. What do you have?
Let's talk about its redeeming qualities.
Well,
I thought that's what list we were on.
It's got a very high level of animal intelligence, which would seem to imply that it can, to a certain extent, follow commands. That it's got some learning, capabilities. I really don't know how Colin's taking all this as good news.
So exciting.
Murder puppy.
It has developed substantial claws. Its forelegs, its forepaws, have overdeveloped have highly developed fifth digits that look like they would be good for grasping. They're not quite opposable thumbs, but it does look like its forepaws, its 4 feet Its front feet are well designed for grasping as well as for running. And the armor plating on it seems quite resistant to damage.
Okay. Well, that's they've made a xenomorph. Awesome.
Yeah, they kind of have.
I know Philip's intention, but I'm still holding out hope that there's a chance I get a demon dog.
You do also, with that extremely high roll, even though it would technically be on a different skill, but with natural 20, in looking at the canisters, you discover the same mark as the brand is on the upper surface of all the canisters, the spiraled thorn branch that's branded on its neck. And you find markings, you find letters in the center of the spiral, or runes actually, but it's an arcane mark that resolves when you study it into BT7 Mark 1.
Are any of the houses BT?
Nope.
I'm sorry. Okay. And they all say that?
Yes.
Okay.
This thing is Mark 1.
A Titanfall crossover.
In terms of the houses, though, if you were to try and imagine which house would make this, it would obviously be Vatalis.
Sure.
Yeah. Which was
Ryan
on
Thompson
on the
at it
main.
again.
Okay. Well, yeah, that's all good to know. Keep that in mind. Oh no.
Also, very highly developed olfactory system.
Sure. Right.
Yep.
Yeah.
Because why not, you know?
Yeah.
Let's see. Well, natural 20. So I'm trying to tell you everything. Dark vision.
Yeah.
Also
yeah.
dark vision. It does seem to see in a spectrum that would allow it to see in darkness.
Resistance, vulnerabilities.
It seems
said resistant to
size.
damage.
its armor
Yeah.
plating seems very resistant to
armor.
damage.
Well,
Rough
if nothing
estimate how
else, we
big?
can.
Oh,
You can feed it and
Sure. As far as the size,
armor out of
you
it.
would guess. You would guess that it would grow to the size of a very large canine.
If somebody were to take the concept of striking with a melee weapon and codify it into a numerical system, what number would one have to accomplish in their swing to penetrate the arm?
Substantial.
I'll let Pog know the good news is that possibly
It's a smart murder
it's
machine.
smart enough to be trained. Possibly it's smart enough to know that we're holding it in a cage and would like to kill us for it. Also, it's very much designed to kill in many ways at once, quietly in the dark. So,
I just imagine that
Possibly just on smell.
it was a hard cut to Still in the Garden with Ezri just standing there at the end of this explanation, and it's just like, oh.
so one in the positive, and that's it.
A
But
lot in the cons.
yeah,
in the,
maybe we can make it our
in the
silent
still
killer
positives.
beast.
But we just talked about not killing.
Wouldn't be us doing it.
How long do you think that's going to last?
Ideally, a while, if we want the PR machine to not be against us.
Well, they're already against us at the bottom of our floating
And
island.
we want to change that, Ezri. We left our mark at the scene of what has been labeled a massacre. Like, that's not
And
good.
whose fault was that?
We don't need to point fingers. It was collectively, as a team, not great.
I'm pointing 3 fingers. 3.
What did I do?
Well, that seems. Listen, things went sideways quickly. We need to figure out how, when things go sideways, we don't resort
Yes.
to murder.
Just next time I say I'm going to go down and find out what's down there and come back up and report, maybe wait till I've reported before jumping in.
Oh, you were going down there.
The thing was stalking Pog.
No. You went in right after I said, I'm going to go down, see what's down there, and come back
I
and
feel
report.
like we resolved that we were going to do a 2-prong approach that you and Pog.
Yeah, it was
Yes.
both at once.
First prong
We
was
did.
go investigate. Second prong was have the knowledge so you can go in with it.
But when
Prongs
when
go
you're eating with a
together,
fork, all your
Esri.
prongs go in at the same time. They don't
Okay, so the
They
metaphor doesn't work.
different prong.
Something was stalking Pog. Shade and I tried to stop it. Things went bad. That's the beginning, middle, and end of how we ended up in that situation. All I'm trying to say is that when those things happen, because they will happen again, we can't prevent our plans from being foiled. Then we need to
Especially our plan.
be.
And we're very good at killing.
We are, but that's just going to reinforce the idea that we are dangerous and should be locked up somewhere.
And all I'm saying is we have a captive murder beast in our basement and might have to make use of it someday.
But I don't think Thor is going to stamp that one. Like,
But if we have power, they don't have to also like us, right?
but that's how the houses operate now. Is they have all the power, and so they can do whatever they want, even if it means exploiting and being horrible to people. And I don't know if we want to be like them. I don't want to be like them. They let my parents die
In
on the side of the
some
road
ways,
because of power.
I
So,
don't want to do that.
but I think it's just better to, be seen as good and kind and understanding and not murderous, is my thought on it.
I don't know what you're arguing against. I am not suggesting that we go murder people.
I know.
I am.
That's what I'm arguing against.
Yeah, I'm not
I see.
saying-
I did miss that. Well,
Hi, pal.
Hey, buddy.
speaking of, we've been just sitting around for weeks. What are we doing?
I mean, Thor has been
Going
working
to
on
the Feywild.
getting people in the school, and we've been talking about the Feywild. I mean,
We're going to the Feywild.
we're gonna have to
We
at
can
some
get there
point.
now.
We've got too many loose threads.
I'm
there.
sorry, did I miss a conversation entirely?
Well, yeah, you were.
Yeah, you told us leave the greenhouse.
and so we came out here and talked.
Oh.
We didn't just stop talking.
Shane
You
and
don't only
I,
talk
see.
when you're around. We talk other times too.
Got it. Well,
um,
it just seems like the kind of thing I might have been included on.
we haven't made a
You
plan.
were.
No.
You said you didn't want to be around. It is very tiring sometimes.
A while back, before the warehouse job, Shade and I had a conversation about Thalanis Feywild connections that we both have, and kind of a shared desire to go resolve that. And then we talked to Thora about it just to get an idea of what she knew. And then Arlo knows a whole lot about Thalanis, and so he kind of put a lot of, I won't speak for Shade, but a lot of my concerns to bed about potentially going there. Obviously, we can't leave for a few weeks when we're trying to establish this and leave Thora holding a bag here. So Arlo makes it seem like we could go to the Feywild, and for every day that we're there, only an hour here will pass. And so we could go resolve my curse, get Shade's dream nightmare stuff figured out, and potentially hook up with the Forest Queen, and see if she can help with my deal also. And then be back
He
before
can do
supper.
that reliably. He can do that reliably?
That's
He said
that's
so.
what he says. And I mean, I know
That would be very useful for research.
I know so little about this topic that I can't help but trust when somebody tells me they're an expert. Like I have no reason to doubt the man. So
I looked at him real hard, and he seemed trustworthy.
Oh, I accidentally read his thoughts also, Esri. That's something I can do now. And I didn't detect any malice, and he was just
Oh yeah. What am I thinking right now?
Ari cast detect thoughts on Esri.
He's thinking, go jump off the island.
I don't want to jump off the island, Esri.
Oh. That's cool.
It's something. And now I'm going to stop listening to your thoughts because I assume you don't want me to keep going. So
He just starts going, scream.
it's a horrible noise. Okay. And then Ari breaks concentration. So yeah, I did that accidentally before. And so yeah. But I don't know if we're itching right now, like tomorrow, to go take off to Thalanis, but it's definitely top of my mind.
Well,
lately.
if we want to be remembered for good, I should not be the point person on that, and we could get Ari to be remembered by going to Thalanis and finding the Forgotten Prince. And so it seems like it would be good to do sooner, because it would be helpful. I just had all of those thoughts at once now, but I think you understand what I meant.
I understand, Shade. I appreciate that. And yeah, I mean, Shade's been having nightmares about forest cities and has that connection with the Forest Queen, and so also figuring out why she has that connection with a face buyer in a forest city. And yeah, there's just a lot of questions that the longer they go unresolved, the bigger they potentially get. So, and it's something that I know Shade really wants to do. So, any thoughts or concerns, Esri?
This all sounds very much like our standard step one of a plan, and
Get there.
not really anything else. But
I mean,
We actually don't know step one. We don't know. We know theoretically how to get there. So
good word, Shade.
Step one.
Word. Good word.
Thank you. I don't remember what I was saying.
We have the notion of step one, but we don't actually have a plan to get there yet. Arlo knows how, so
We have an
I'm sure-
Arlo.
Yeah, I'm sure once we tell Arlo we're ready to go, then he can get on it. Also, Pixel Dust might be helpful.
no,
Puzzle dust.
Puzzle Dust. Puzzle Dust. I don't know.
Puzzle
why.
dust would be better.
I don't know who that is, but I already don't trust them. We've got one dragon. I think we just used
So,
Pixel dust is puzzle dust's brother.
only appears in 8-bit.
No, that's pixel dust that's puzzle dust in the dystopian cyberpunk future.
yeah.
Yes. Yes.
apparently it's an animation studio.
Oh, fair enough.
So if you're looking for someone to sponsor, apparently we're gonna name
I'll
drop
name
you
drop
regardless.
accidentally all the time. So,
All right. Well, I suppose that's as good a place to put a button on this as any. Thank you all so much for watching. I do want to, because I failed to do the shout out for this.
Actually, real quick, just as that conversation is finishing up, Ezra goes, "Oh, Geralt," and starts trotting off to find Thora.
Okay. Because I forgot to last week, I do want to give a shout out to our YouTube viewer, Emily AW, who created and proposed Arlo Fletcher as a potential teacher at the Grimalkin Institute. Apparently,
Awesome.
you guys have very much the support of the fans, because it seems very convenient that a professor in planar cosmology should show up. And
Me?
And
Thank you,
also maybe Emily wants you to go to the Feywild. So
Well, get ready, Emily.
We have to give the fans what they want, right?
So thank you so much for that. We got a couple of other professor suggestions that I have in the hopper. And if any of our other viewers would like to propose weird teachers to come and hang out at the Grimalkin Academy, we'll need some. So thank you all again so much for watching. We really appreciate the support we've gotten. If I'm counting right, this is episode 52, which means we've been doing this for
Happy
So-
anniversary.
happy
fun.
anniversary, everyone. Thank you all so much for watching and viewing and commenting and all of the wonderful interactions we've gotten to have with our dedicated viewers over the last 52 episodes. It's really sad if I've miscounted, but anyway, whether I'm on the right episode or not, thank you
If
ever
so,
so much.
Apply this sentiment to either last week or next week.
Right, there you go.
Just- we get to number the
Not from me.
episodes. They can be
If it's
51A
last
and
week,
B.
I don't mean it. For the
Yeah,
record.
we're gonna have
Wow.
episode 51.5 just to save Philip.
Yeah, that's what it's going to be. Come up with some sort of in-world explanation for it. Opening the canisters created a time paradox
Yeah.
of some kind.
It's
Anyway,
the wimey thing.
we're just wandering.
It's
now.
another treat.
If you want to get
my
in touch
least
with us, you
favorite
can find
narrative
links to our
device.
Discord and all of our social media in the description down below. You can also leave us a comment. Let us know what you thought of this episode, whether you think that Esri's news was good news, as Colin seems to think, or bad news. And
Hey, I'm not the only one. Pog thinks it's good too.
Pog also, yes.
Colin and
I'm
Pog
sorry,
both.
Colin
See?
and Pog are both very much in favor of
You.
the murder beast. I really didn't mean to create a xenomorph. That's really funny. But again, thank you.
It's
all so
really
much.
a xenomorph dog.
Yeah,
is what
that's
it
true.
is.
You'll also find a link to Colin's Twitch,
Worse.
twitch.tv/sorrybtr. The O is 0. Colin streams on Tuesdays and whenever his life as a restaurateur allows him to.
Oh, we fancy now.
New episodes of Khyber Shards drop every Monday. Khyber Shards answers, which you can submit questions to on our Discord or in comments, are on Fridays. Thanks for rolling with us.